Ngayon, good morning sa lahat mga lodies. Ayan. So, may bago tayong update ngayon tungkol sa nangyari sa Afghanistan. So, ayan. Pero bago po sa lahat, pakita ko sa inyo yung buhay sa talaga. Kahit konting lang video makikita nyo, konting buhay sa Afghanistan, the land of endless war. So, kana sila na lugar diha kay migi na sila maggubat. So maghatak og gamay lang update video unsa ang Afghanistan sa una. So very nice place. Yep. So update.
Afghanistan has a natural beauty. With all its mountains and rivers close to the cities. It may be one of the most beautiful countries in Asia. I have memories of studying and just going to school. In Kabul, everyone would go up to the rooftops to fly kites in all these different colors.
Living in Kabul was so romantic. We were happy in Kabul.
Cinemas, restaurants, hotels. It was better than Europe, I guess. Now I think that we were already feminists without knowing the word of feminism. Suddenly, I have a dream to have my country back. But you think that's too much? That's too big. When Taliban beat me on the street, it was very difficult. I had a proper burqa. I hide my beautiful hands with nail polish, but they shouldn't see it. They beat me and they say why I am on the street without male member of my family, without my mahram. I'm not saying I was very problematic, but I love to answer them. I say I tried to find someone from second-hand market, but I couldn't. And that was they start beating me extra. In the middle of the street in front of probably 400 eyes or 500 for no reason. And immediately after that punishment, wake up, girl. Wake up. Wake up. I woke up. A good basketballer. I was a good volleyballer. And I was listening to the music. And I had a good skill of writing. And they were just looking to me like a very strange way. How possible? Really? It's possible to wear skirts? Yes. You never cover your head? Yes. It was normal.
There was a time when Afghanistan was at peace and its women looked to the future with hope. In the 1960s, Queen Humaira appeared in public without a veil. Her husband, King Zahir Shah, opened up the country to the world after centuries of isolation and enabled women to participate in public life.
In 1964, women in Afghanistan, according to the constitution, got the right to vote. In Afghanistan, there was no segregation between men and women. Honestly, I was focusing on my studies, but I was quite, how to say, I was a little naughty. I would say we were going to cinemas, we were skipping some classes.
We saw the French movies. We saw Europe in America 2 movie, but we never thought to go to America or go to Europe because we were happy in Kabul. We read history in school. And always, of course, we thought Afghans are very brave people, you know. We fought against British, we fought against Genghis Khan, we fought against Alexander the Great, you know. And war was something very far away from us, from me.
Kabul was a totally different place. You can't believe and even you can't imagine. It was better than Europe, I guess. I would say it was a modern city with lots of restaurants, jazz music, live. Inside, whenever the door was open, two things I remember. First, the big, loud, live jazz sound music, which was playing live. Plus,
What's up, yo? So, next video po. Yan, pasensya lang sa mga marinig nyo doon sa mga boses. Hindi ko medyo may mga kunting sa video ko. Mayroong makadistract kasi nasa kaming tao dito. So, next video mga lods is Afghanistan life in Taliban country. So, panoorin natin mga lods. Konting video lang po mga lods. Hindi natin tatasin. Yan. Next video.
Has given the extremists a cue to step up their campaign of killing. Our reporters hear firsthand how the Taliban intend to target more and more places to ultimately take control of Afghanistan. This report from Afghanistan is by Marco Ben and Solen Shalkuriti.
Herat, western Afghanistan. We passed the last base of the Afghan army, an entrenched camp which Afghan soldiers rarely leave. Beyond it lies a desert disputed by several armed groups. After months of negotiating, high-ranking Taliban commanders have agreed to meet us somewhere on this desolate track. With us, a translator and an armed escort.
There are a lot of IDs now on this road, but now it's because under their control, no fear of the IDs. Or from them, no one else can come in and out.
As we head deeper into the desert, the sound of automatic weapons resonates all around.
Very conservative, but better you not work out.
The Taliban have asked if we meet in this no man's land, just outside an area they control.
Commander is waiting for us there.
The interview will need to be short.
These aren't good conditions for an interview.
Usually we stay in the mountains. We came down specifically for you, but normally we don't sit like this in the open.
These fighters moved into the region just a few days ago. The extremist insurgency is gaining ground throughout the country and multiplying attacks, especially outside large cities.
We're expecting even more reinforcements. Yesterday, 2 other units came to this province. We are surrounding Herat province and are awaiting orders. If we are told to capture this city, then we will capture the city. When we take a village, we sleep in the mosque. We don't bother people in their homes. But the first thing we do is close down the government-run schools. We destroy them and sack all the teachers and staff. Instead, we put in place our own religious schools, which follow our own curriculum, in order to train future Taliban.
After the interview, the Taliban allowed us to film a village under their control. Their goal? To convince us that the movement is not just a military force, but a credible alternative to the official government. For us, it will be a rare window into this parallel state, which could, if the Taliban come back to power, foretell the future of Afghanistan.
Go ahead, continue reporting. If we spot any government vehicles coming into the village, whether you're there or not, we will attack. Enough talking. There are often drones flying around here. We can't stay any longer.
Throughout Afghanistan, the fight rages between government forces and the Taliban, whose brutal regime was toppled in 2001 by an international military coalition. The fundamentalist guerrilla force is collecting victories. As foreign troops withdraw from the country, the drained Afghan army seems unable to contain their advances. Today, the Taliban control or contest more than half of the country. They rule over vast swathes of land, mostly the countryside, areas that haven't benefited from the more than $150 billion injected by the international community for development projects. Many funds were diverted by the elite and redirected towards the cities. Emblems of modernity for some, symbols of debauchery for others, they are the last bastion of the Afghan state against the insurgents. Havens of freedom where citizens can enjoy pleasures forbidden under Taliban rule.
Okay, next video natin. So, ayan. So, natapos na yung pangalawang video. So, dito na naman tayo mga lods sa pangatlong video natin. So, mga konti lang to mga lods para at least meron kayong video na makita kung ano talaga ang Afghanistan. And then, next video is Taliban takeover na. So, yun. Lives and uncertain future in Afghanistan. So, ayan mga lods. Next video mga lods. Tingnan natin mga lods
Re-emerge with an emboldened and stronger Taliban that has greater access to weapons and technology that we supplied. There is fear, confusion, and anger as the sun rises on Tuesday morning in Kabul. And now so many questions about how the Taliban was able to take over the entire country and this quickly. Stunning scenes at Kabul's airport today. Residents so desperate to leave, they are risking it all, including their lives in some cases. Running after a U.S. military plane, pleading for a way out. Tonight, our team on the ground confirms the Taliban now controls the one road to the airport, and they are allowing foreign nationals, but not Afghans, to leave. And the thousands who are trying to escape, in many cases, are the people who helped Americans while we were there for the past 2 decades. One of them telling ABC News tonight, "If I stay here, they will slaughter me." President Biden addressing the nation this afternoon, calling the scenes gut-wrenching, but said he stands squarely behind his decision to pull out U.S. troops from the country. Our Ian Panel leads us off tonight, bravely reporting in from the ground in Kabul.
Panic, chaos, and fear. The hallmarks of the Taliban's conquest of Kabul, Afghanistan's capital and what was the last government stronghold. America's emergency evacuation triggering panic as desperate civilians rushed to the airport in fear for their lives. It's an image that'll stand as a tragic testimony to America's hasty departure. Crowds mobbing the tarmac, so desperate, some clinging for life or death to the departing planes. The pilots put in an unthinkable position. US officials saying at least 3 people were run over and killed by the tires. Local reports saying people could be seen falling from the plane as it departed. The US military temporarily suspending air operations to clear civilians flooding into the US military-controlled zone, killing at least 2 armed men in the process. After nearly 20 years of conflict, the speed at which the US-backed forces collapsed has been breathtaking. Afghan President Ashraf Ghani, one of the first to flee the country he vowed to protect, claiming in a Facebook post he wanted to save Kabul from bloodshed. Just hours later, this footage from Al Jazeera showing Taliban fighters inside his presidential palace declaring the restoration of the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan. All this marking the stunning climax of the military's dramatic takeover. Taliban forces now in charge of the capital and most of the country, effectively ending the nation's experiment with liberal democracy.
Thanks to our military, our allies, and the brave fighters of Afghanistan, the Taliban regime is coming to an end.
Former President Bush's words ring hollow as billowing smoke rises from the US Embassy, sensitive documents destroyed, helicopters ferrying staff from the country, an eerie echo of the fall of Saigon.
This is manifestly not Saigon. The fact of the matter is this. We went to Afghanistan 20 years ago with one mission in mind, and that was to deal with the people who attacked us on 9/11. And that mission has been successful.
The Biden administration defending the US withdrawal from the country, but clearly caught totally off guard by the Taliban's rapid advance. The US sending 6,000 troops to hasten the emergency evacuation of embassy staff and thousands of Afghans who worked for the US mission. Today, armed checkpoints dot the city. The Taliban reportedly stopping locals from reaching the airport now, only allowing the foreigners to pass. Just 5 weeks ago, President Biden proclaiming he wouldn't let this rule reach a 5th president, adamant this wouldn't happen.
The likelihood there's going to be the Taliban overrunning everything and owning the whole country is highly unlikely.
But the worst predictions for Afghanistan's future coming true, faster than anyone imagined. In less than 3 months, the Taliban capturing nearly every major district outside Kabul. And on the streets of the capital, fear and despair. Long lines this weekend as residents scramble to withdraw their life savings from banks with dwindling funds. And a desperate crush at the Pakistan border crossing as more people try to flee. But for those left behind, the women and girls in particular, their once bright futures now seem bleak. In the last 20 years, there have been some major gains for women. Female enrollment in
Tubig ko muna iban gani.
from just
Bagba na yung iban.
2003 to 39% in 2017, and women's life expectancy grew from just 56 years in 2001 to 66 in 2017. All of that progress now at risk.
I have never felt it to this extent. Helpless, hopeless, disappointed, poor and miserable in my life. All I want to say is achievement, maybe just go in length of few days.
Reports already flooding in of retaliation against women. This displaced school teacher says she watched girls being lashed by the Taliban just for wearing sandals. Yet Miriam here still defiant.
I'm not afraid of them. We are not the people who will, go back to the dark era. I'm a girl and I don't care about anyone. What should I be scared of? This is my homeland, my land.
But her land, this country,
now under Taliban rule. This is our first time out onto the streets of Kabul since the Taliban came in and came to power. There are people out, there is traffic, there are pedestrians, but noticeably we've been driving for 5 minutes now and I haven't seen one woman out on the streets. We've just come to an empty shopping mall, what looks like an empty restaurant, but we've been told there's a Taliban commander here.
My message to them is that they should not be frightened of us. We are the sons of the same soil, brothers. My message to foreigners is they can see our history. They will not be able to beat us. This land will be standing free.
Tonight, the streets eerily silent. A quiet desperation has taken hold as Afghans wait in fear to see what future awaits them. After 20 years of war, costing trillions of dollars and tens of thousands of lives, many are questioning tonight, what was this all for?
Such harrowing scenes and realities there on the ground. Ian Panel joins us now. Ian, what's the security situation like right now with the Taliban in control? Are there any concerns that the situation near the airport could turn violent with those checkpoints so close?
Yeah, Lindsay, I mean, this is really a tale of two cities, if you like. I mean, here in the main part of Kabul, where we're based, the Taliban are in control. We went out today, as you saw in my report, we saw Taliban manning checkpoints, heavily armed fighters, driving around the town in pickup trucks, in Humvees. One of the most striking things that we didn't see was any women out on the streets. Now, one of my colleagues also went out. He said he did see a few odd women, many of them wearing the burqa, but I was struck, having been to the country many times, lived here for 2 years, seeing not a single woman out on the street. But it is calm. The Taliban have actually come here to our hotel. They've asked the security guards to leave. They said there's no need for them to be there anymore. They have now taken over control, not just of here, but of everywhere else. The other city is the chaos, the panic, the desperation that you're seeing down at the airport. Now, there's obviously a concerted attempt to try and resolve this situation. That's why the airport was closed for so long, because there were so many people on the tarmac, there was a lot of debris there. We think they've now managed to clear the people away, try and contain the situation. They've cleared away the debris, and I can already hear the sound of aircraft back up into the skies. But here's the problem. There's only one route into the airport, and at the moment there's a Taliban checkpoint there, and we're hearing they're only letting foreigners through. And when President Biden talks about the thousands of special immigrant visa applicants, these are people who risk their lives to help our mission here in Afghanistan, many of them afraid now to leave their houses because, of course, it's the Taliban that they're running away from, and even if they do, there's now a question about whether or not they can get back to the airport. We should not see the same chaotic scenes. This is going to be a true test when day breaks tomorrow, whether or not the situation's back under control.
Ian, we're running out of time, but I just want to ask you simply, do you feel safe?
Yes, I do. I mean, this is a weird thing. The Taliban came in, we had this bizarre moment where they wanted to take selfies, and they're joking and they're laughing and saying, please don't worry, foreigners are welcome, we want relations with the neighbouring countries. The thing about the Taliban is they have a very, very different worldview. They see the world differently to us. A lot of them are very sort of simple, have a country, traditional Islamist view, and therefore, so they feel that they can provide security, that we don't need to worry. And the truth is, I think many Afghans will feel much safer. The turmoil that we've seen over the last 20 years, much of that will now be settled, but unfortunately the oppression that we saw before will return. Lindsay?
Ian Panel, stay safe out there.
Sana nagustuhan nyo yung video na akin na pinagawa ko. So, ayan. So, natapos na yung mga lods ko. Kung nagustuhan nyo akong video mga lods, please subscribe my YouTube channel and please click na notification bell para palagi po updated po sa aking mga video. Yan mga lods. So, yan muna yung update ko sa inyo mga lods. Kahit konti lang yung mga lods, at least mayroon kayong nakita na update. So, bye-bye po sa lahat. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.